Good afternoon. My name is Joe Halder, and I'm the one that works along with your executive teams to bring together the employee benefit packages. This is a time of year that we call open enrollment, meaning that we now have an opportunity to look at the benefits that are being offered and to make choices as to how we want to best use them for ourselves going forward, beginning January 1, all through the year ending in December 31st. Important to note that this year there's a little bit of change, not a lot, and we're going to be covering a couple of items just to make sure everything is really clear, and we will touch on some of the existing plans that aren't changing, and we'll also talk about the one plan that is changing, but we'll make sure we cover things in such detail that you are familiar with what we're reviewing, and if you have any questions, you can easily reach out to us. In addition, you will have received an email that has all the updated SBCs, as well as the benefit summaries, plus any application should you like to make a change. What we ask is that you get any changes into Marga over the next week so that she can get those sent up to the carriers so that all the changes can be made hopefully by January 1st. So the sooner you can get everything in, the better. One of the things that I'd like to underscore is that Residential Bancorp really puts a big focus on resources on these employee benefits. They do that because it has been important to them to create an entire benefit package for the employees, both prospective employees as well as existing employees, and this year is no exception. On the medical front, we are not making any changes at all with the carriers that we have, nor with plan designs that we have. And Anthem has made a very, very minor change in just one area of the benefits, and that is in the office visit copayment for specialists. Most of our plans, the specialist copayment is the same as the primary care physician, but this year the modification they have made is to increase the cost for specialists by around $20 for most plans. Still quite modest and in line with all other benefits. The benefit offerings that you have are really pretty good, especially when I compare these to comparative industry. It is really quite good what Residential Bancorp offers, both plan, design, and the cost sharing. And so as we look at the Anthem plans, I want to underscore the two different types of plans that we have. We have two HMO plans, we have two PPO plans. And these are the same plans that we have been operating for the last couple of years. And so briefly, what the differences are in each category, that is the HMO category and the PPO category, you have what I'll call, a rich plan and then kind of an econo plan. The rich plans have richer benefits, meaning that low to no deductibles with fairly low co-payments and co-insurance and maximum out of pocket. And the econo plans are the opposite of that. They're going to have a higher deductible, a little bit higher co-insurance, higher maximum out of pocket, and correspondingly a lower premium. So if you choose the richer plan with richer benefits and a higher premium, then your focus is on getting as much benefit as you can for the premium that you're willing to spend. If instead you focus more on the econo plan, all you're saying is that I want to assume more of the risk when I see a doctor or I get services, and in exchange, I get to pay a lower premium. There's no right or wrong answer in either of these plan types or styles. There's just there's simply a different way of looking at it. And that is on the PPO side and on the HMO side. It works both ways. We've offered a richer and an econo plan in each category. And so really the next logical place to go is then, why a difference between an HMO and a PPO? On the PPO side of things, you have maximum choice, meaning that you can pick and choose from a very, very large network of doctors who you would like to see. And we're not going to talk too much about going out of network because very seldom is anyone going out of network because Anthem Blue Cross's PPO network nationwide is one of the largest in the country. And so by having the PPO plan, you get to go to any PPO doctor in their network without a referral and at will. And for many of us, we look at that as a great thing. The downside to that is there's less coordination of benefit and medical management. unlike an HMO where you have a primary care physician that is your coordinator, your quarterback, if you will, for your benefits, you are more in that position of being a quarterback in a PPO. So you can decide on your own to go see a specialist. And that specialist may not coordinate with your primary care doctor because you went on your own. And you may seek treatment from a different specialist for a whole different reason and the same outcome, meaning that you're the one that decided. And so that specialist, again, may not be coordinating with your primary care doctor. One of the areas that we see impacted the most by this is prescriptions. Because if you have one doctor who does not know what the other doctor has prescribed, and you're the one that is in the middle kind of checking these things out, if you don't explain to each of your doctors the meds that you're taking, you may end up with an undesirable drug interaction. So it is important to note that when you're in a PPO plan, to share as much of the information about your own medical history and the prescriptions that you're taking with each of your doctors so that they can make a proper prescription remedy if they need to. Additionally, if you can make sure that all of your prescriptions are filled at the same pharmacy, that will also help you to minimize any potential drug interactions. So the PPO plan gives you lots of independence, lots of freedom of choice, and gives you a little bit more exposure in terms of the costs that you will pay. On the HMO side, it is a bit different because you have a primary care physician. That primary care physician, or the PCP, is going to be that hub, that quarterback in the middle of your medical care. And all the specialists will coordinate through them. And so typically, any prescriptions or any lab tests or anything that needs to be done is going to be overseen or at least reviewed by your primary care physician. And that gives an extra set of eyes on what's going on. So for some people, having an HMO is more satisfactory because of the way that the platform operates. For some, PPO and the freedom of choice is what they prefer. Again, I would say there's no right or wrong in either of these. It's simply a different way of approaching medical benefits, and you need to find the one that fits, one, most in your expectations of medical care, and two, into your pocketbook. Both plans offer a richer plan and a more economical plan, and both have different sizes of networks and providers that can be accessed through each platform. All right, I hope that makes sense to all of you. And so this year, very little plan change, a little bit of premium change, but not that much. Premiums continue to go up, and Residential Bancorp continues to pay a good deal of money towards our costs, but that doesn't stop our costs from going up. And so you're going to notice a bit of an increase in the amount that you pay this year on that side. Switching gears a little bit to the dental. In the past, Guardian has provided our dental benefits. This year, after evaluating, what is the best way for us to go in our total benefit package and our design, it was clear by having Anthem also become our dental provider, it was going to create a better overall value for our employees by having them do the dental instead of Guardian. And so this year, the change that is going to be recognized is that rather than Guardian being our dental provider, Anthem will not just be our medical, but also our dental provider. On the dental PPO side of things, it's not likely you're going to notice any difference at all. It's the exact same benefit design, where you have a $50 deductible, 100% of preventive benefits are covered, 80% of basic, and then 50% of major benefits up to $1,000 a calendar year. And then there's also $1,000 of orthodontia that's covered under the plan, which is exactly the same one we had before. And what you will notice, though, is your premiums went down a little bit on the PPO plan, which is kind of nice. So the benefit design is the same. It is also a PPO plan, but the difference in a dental PPO plan is that you can still go wherever you want, and the benefit design is still the same. It's still $50 deductible, 100% preventive, 80% basic, 50% major benefits with a $1,000 maximum. If you end up using a PPO provider, the advantage to you would be that because they've agreed to a lower fee schedule, when you do have to pay something, say you're 80% or you're 50%, it's going to be of a smaller number than if you use an out-of-network dentist. So again, for those of you on the PPO side of things who like maximum choice and are going to go outside of that network, not a problem. You still have the same benefits as you did before, and I don't think you'll notice much of any difference. Okay. For those of you who are on the dental HMO, that will be a little bit different. The dental HMO plans, unlike a dental PPO plan, don't offer a deductible and then a co-insurance and then a maximum out of pocket for the carrier. Instead, everything that is done through your dental HMO provider, and you must sign up for a dental HMO provider. But then you have unlimited benefits, and all you pay is the co-payment that goes along with that benefit that you're receiving. Here is where we're going to see some differences between Anthem and Guardian. One, the provider list is different. Although we do have some of the same providers that were on Guardian that will be on Anthem. We also have some of you who have signed up for the Guardian HMO who your providers are not on the Anthem list. It doesn't mean they have fewer, it just means they have different doctors. And the way that we'll remedy that is for those of you who have a provider that carries over into Anthem on the dental HMO, we'll just make sure you're assigned to that same provider. But for some of you who do not have continuity in dental provider for HMO, then either we can have one assigned to you in your area, and you can go see them. If you like them, great. If not, you can always change it the next month, so it's not like you're married to them. Two, you can get online and find the provider that you want that's in the network for you, and the instructions to do that are in your guide. Or three, you can switch to the PPO if you'd rather do that. Either way, if you would reach out to Marga over the next week and let her know how you want that handled, that would be very helpful. Even if you're just going to let it roll over and have Anthem assign a dentist to you, it would be helpful on Marga's end if she knows what that is so that she can get everything set up accordingly. Okay. So for most of you who decide that, nope, I want to just stay where I am, not a problem, I don't really want to do anything. If you are a dental HMO member, please reach out to Marga and at least let her know how you'd like that dental provider handled. The rest of you won't need to do a thing. As far as any other changes go, whether it is any of the dental plans, the medical plans, or any of the ancillary plans with Guardian, you don't need to make a change unless you want to. And if you do, just complete the change form that you were emailed and get it to Margo over the next week, and she can get the plan change implemented for you. Okay, so we've covered the medical and the dental plans through Anthem. Now I want to talk a little bit about some of the Guardian plans. So if you're following along in your brochure, we're moving on from pages 3, 4, and 5, and we're moving onto pages 6. Oh, and one last thing, I'm sorry. On the dental HMO, you'll also notice your premiums coming down a little bit as well. They're not much different, but they're a tiny bit different. Our Davis Vision Plan is not changing. It is still the same as it was before in terms of the benefits, and the premiums are not changing at all. What I would say is to those of you who have signed up for it and are not using it, I would encourage you to go and at least get your exam, because we're finding more and more on the dental side, the vision side, that we can identify other problems in our bodies through our eyes. It may sound strange, but we've been able to find tell signs of cardiovascular disease as well as cancers. And so simply by getting the exam might end up being a pretty good thing for you. So not to mention, it doesn't hurt to get your eyes checked. So I would encourage you to use that. And then if you need some corrective glasses, lenses, or so on, then you got a built-in benefit. So use it. We have some voluntary life benefits as well as basic life benefits. Let me explain the difference. The basic life benefit is a $25,000 life insurance plan that Residential Bancorp pays for you. The voluntary would be additional life insurance on top of that you pay for yourself, and it's at discounted term rates. If you want to have some of the voluntary life, great. You've got the Guardian booklet. Just fill out that part of the application. If you're getting more than what is the guaranteed issue amount, then you'll need to provide some evidence of insurability, which is essentially a health questionnaire to get the additional amount. Something I would like to point out is that when it comes to these life insurance benefits, the beneficiary allocation or the beneficiary designation that you have on file is the one that we must follow should something happen to you. I bring this up because 2 years ago, we had a situation with a different client where we had a gentleman who ended up dying in an accident, and he had $250,000 of life insurance benefits. Some of that was basic and some of that was voluntary. And his beneficiary was his ex-girlfriend, and it did not go over well. However, we could do nothing to change it. And so I don't want that to be repeated, so I am repeating this story. If you don't know who your beneficiaries are, please check. If you think or know you might need to change them, please get it changed, because don't put somebody in a position, a loved one or otherwise, where it is trying to manage a death benefit that should not be going to the person it's going to, because it really is almost nothing we can do about it. So that's all I have to say about that. In your Guardian booklet, there is also a voluntary disability benefit guide. I would say a cost table. And the rates that we were able to negotiate with Guardian have really been exceptional. So if there's any of you who are giving some consideration to having disability coverage, and I would encourage you to do that, because keep in mind, although all these other insurances we talk about make sure other people get paid, disability is that one coverage that makes sure you get paid. And if you look at your paycheck and you wonder what life would be like without it, probably not very good. So in the event of a disability, it would be nice to have it continued. And these benefits, because of the way the premium is structured, are tax-free to you. So that's a pretty big deal. And the costs are fairly low. So I'd encourage you to take a look at it. And those costs are inside the Guardian booklet, which was part of your email. All right. Last item I wanted to cover is what's known as an EAP plan. And the EAP plan is on the back cover of your brochure, and it's an employee assistance plan. It's done by Guardian. And what an EAP plan is essentially a counseling type of benefit plan. And there could be any number of reasons why you might want to call upon this benefit. It could be that you're in a sandwich generation where your kids are living with you, they moved back in, as did your parents, and it's causing some stress. It could be that you're going through some relationship difficulties, some financial or legal difficulties. It could be any number of things. And the EAP plan provides you access to somebody who knows a heck of a lot more than I do about being able to talk to you as a professional with regards to these problems that you're going through. And being able to reach out to them, as simple as an 800 number, is a big deal. And it's for everybody in your family. You have an 18-year-old kid in the house, they're able to use it, and it could be beneficial to them. And at some point, a face-to-face meeting may be necessary, and you get up to 3 of those without any additional charge to you. So it is an important benefit that Residential Bancorp offers to its employees. I would encourage you to keep that within your consideration should events occur during this coming year, that this type of benefit could improve your situation. I would encourage you then to use it. All right, so we have talked about your ancillary benefits, that is your dental, your vision, life, disability, and EAP plan. Other than the dental, nothing is changing. We've talked about the medical, where there's very, very little change at all there. The company's staying the same, your networks are staying the same, prices are going up a little bit, but the benefit structure is nearly unchanged. There's little that you need to do unless you want to make a change, and you have the appropriate forms to do that. And the exception to that is those of you who are on the dental HMO. If you're on the dental HMO, please reach out to Marga and let her know how you want your dentist choice to be handled. Other than that, there's no more that you need to do. Any changes that you want to make, please do so in the next week and get them to Marga so that those can be made, and the rest will happen. Thank you for your time.